Data speaks. Data बोलता है. After 2014. This is our third video regarding the inflation rate of neighboring countries. पड़ोसियों की महंगाई दर. Retail price of neighboring countries. Data for 8 years before and after 2014-15 has been taken from the World Bank. And macro trend. Macro trend takes the data from World Bank. The percentage year-on-year increase has been shown in the coming charts. Please note, our year ends 31st March, but the year ending of World Bank is 31st December. So we have taken the data, say, of 2014. For World Bank, it is 31st December. For us, it is 31st March. There is hardly any issue. Let us see first India and China inflation rate before 2014. India's inflation rate ranged from 5.8% to 12%, but it never fell less than 10% in the year 2013-14. China's inflation rate has been the highest of 5.5 or 5.6% in the year 2008-9, and it was negative in the year 2009-10. Then it rose again to 5%, and then it ranges to 3%. See, this year of 2008 was a year of crisis. Subprime crisis was reported with Lehman Brothers during this time. However, world immediately was resilient and world's inflation fell in 2009-10, but India's inflation did not fall. China's inflation also went to negative, but it rose again to 5%, but it remained to 3%, less than 3%. After 2014-15, India's inflation rate is less than 7%. It came down to 3.5%, as we talked in our last videos, and it was again in 2020-21. It was approximately 6.8%, and then it started falling. China's inflation rate was always less than 3%. It ranged from 1 to 3%. Let us say India and Pakistan inflation rate. We are talking till 21-22. There is no data, official data, only news we are getting after 22. But there is no official data by the time we have recorded this. We have got the data up to 2021-22. Pakistan's inflation rate during this subprime crisis of 2008-9, it rose even more than 20%. But Pakistan's inflation rate was always high till 2012-13. Then Pakistan's inflation rate fell to, during the year 2013-14, it was less than India's inflation rate. In 2014-15 to 2021-22, Pakistan's inflation rate after 2017-18, it started rising and it was more than 10%. But now, because we are getting the news 22-23, the inflation rate has even jumped more than 20%. India's inflation rate has always been less than Pakistan after 2017-18. India and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's inflation rate rose more than 20% during 2008-9. It fell down to 2009-10. It fell down to less than 5%, and it remained less than India's inflation rate before 2014. But after 2014-15 to 2021-22, the Sri Lanka's inflation rate has been fluctuating very high. 2017-18 it was up to 8%. Then it started rising, and 2021-22 it is up was near 7%. But we are getting the news after 22 the inflation rate is very high in Sri Lanka. India and Bangladesh. Bangladesh fluctuation was between 6% to 11% during the period 2006-7 to 2013-14, and India's inflation rate was very high in 2009-10, 10-11, but Bangladesh inflation was very less. It was less than 6% in 2009-10. India's inflation rate has always been less than Bangladesh inflation rate. Only in 2020-21 during the COVID period it rose, but Bangladesh inflation rate remained same almost in the COVID period. If we take the averages of 8 years, India's average rate during the period 2006-7 to 2013-14, India's average was 8.97%, means inflation rose at the rate of 8.97%. But after 2014-15, the inflation rate is 4.9%. China's inflation was 3.2% average of 8 years. Here, after 2014-15, China's inflation rate is 1.92. Now, this is all data. Why their inflation rate is so low? Why the prices in China do not rise? That we will discuss in some other video. Pakistan's average rate during 2006-7, 13-14 was 11.46, and during this period 2014-15 to 2021-22, this period is up to only 21-22 is 6.56%. Sri Lanka's inflation rate was 9.9%, higher than India. Average was higher than India, but here Sri Lanka's average rate after 2014-15 is lesser than India. Now, Bangladesh average was 7.93% before 2014. After 2014, it is 5.85, slightly higher than India. So, India's inflation rate is higher than China, much more higher, and Sri Lanka, but Pakistan and Bangladesh, their inflation rate was more than India's rise in prices. Thanks for watching. Next video on stock market trends. Thank you.